Hello, everyone. I'm Janice Russell here at the Blue House Academy of Metaphysics. And today I'm with Dr. Jana Becher from Jena, Germany. She is coming here to the United States, and on May 19th, 2018, 4 weeks from today, she will be leading an all-day workshop on do-it-yourself energy work. It's great to see you, Jana.
Great to see you, Janice. It's been a while. It's really great to see you again. And I'm really looking forward to the event in your house.
I cannot wait. I think maybe the first question we have for you is you describe yourself as an energetic life coach. Could you maybe explain what that is?
Well, what I'm mainly doing in my work is one-on-one coaching where I help people getting unstuck in their life. And I do this with a combination of emotional healing and energy healing. And also I'm trained in different energy healing, energy work modalities for more than 15, 16 years now already. So the other thing that I'm doing is really teaching people how to do energy work and energy healing themselves, which is really fun and very empowering for the individuals.
If you had to provide a definition of energy work or energy healing, what exactly is that? I think we've all heard of it, but it's hard to understand what's really going on.
Well, this will actually be part of the workshop that I will be doing, and I believe everyone has a slightly different definition of it, but basically it all comes down to the fact that consciousness, mind creates matter. So everything we do with our mind, with our consciousness, has an effect on matter. So first on the energetic level of our existence, and then on the material level, on the physical level of our existence. So basically energy work in my perspective is everything that uses our consciousness to influence life on an energetic level, and then as a result of that on a physical level.
So to a certain extent, are you talking about improving one's power of manifestation?
Yes, basically it comes all down to that.
Does your background as a chemist assist you in understanding what is literally going on in the human body when we're doing this kind of work on ourselves?
I believe so, yes. I've been into spirituality already my entire life. So basically already when I went to university to study chemistry, my spiritual understanding and the scientific explanations very much complemented each other. And the way of thinking influenced my perspective, like the spiritual way of thinking influenced my perspective on science and vice versa. So I believe that I gained a lot of understanding from the scientific way of thinking. For example, in science, we tend to use and apply different models to understand different effects in reality, different observations. And it's really cool to use different models and apply them. And some things you observe in reality can just not be explained with one model of understanding, and then it's cool to switch the model and switch the perspective, and then you suddenly have a different understanding of what's going on, and you can apply that to your advantage. So this way of thinking, of looking at things from different perspectives and always trying to understand what's going on from these different angles, is something that I learned in science, and which benefits me very much in my spiritual work. Like also when I do the trauma healing and the resolving of blockages in people's lives, this way of thinking helps me as well.
I think in a lot of instances, people who are very science-oriented are less spiritual. In the classic example And so I'm curious what you think about that. You are merging science and spirituality, and why aren't more scientists able to do that?
For me, it's always been natural to merge it because this is just how I am. Like, I've been so spiritual in nature in a way that I just couldn't stick to the pure scientific way of thinking things. Mm-hmm. For example, when you start going to university and start studying science, you start with the history of science, like the setup of the atom and different atomic models. And what I learned from that was, well, 100 years ago, people had this and that idea of how matter is set up. And 50 years later, they discovered it's actually not really correct, and they improved their model. And this continued. And what I always found kind of stupid within the scientific community is that there is this unspoken idea of, now we know how it's really going on. Now we really know the truth. While actually the history of science teaches you that you can, like, there has always been a point where you realize that what you believed so far to be true was complete nonsense. And you had completely to, like, change the model, the way of thinking. So for me, science has always been a way of exploring and not a way of learning. But what is common in the scientific community for most people is really knowing and believing. So if you have a sense of reality and a new idea comes in and it challenges your entire reality, this can feel really threatening to people. And this is why many people, I believe, are shutting down to these very challenging new ideas, which actually have been proven a lot already with scientific methods as well, but it's not really coming down to the mainstream science.
So it comes down to resistance to change.
Yes, because it's threatening. It's really threatening if your entire reality is breaking down, if really the way you believe reality functions. Suddenly you realize this is not true. This is a very, very challenging and threatening thing. And I get why people cannot really open up to this. Mm-hmm. So I do have a lot of compassion for that, but at the same time, I see how detrimental this is and how much people would benefit if they were more open-minded.
Yeah. Everyone would benefit by being more open-minded, for sure.
Well, everyone in their own pace.
Yes, yes, it has to happen when they're ready. So I want to ask you a little bit about what you're going to do at your workshop, but first I would like to know how you conduct your sessions with people. Like, what is the format for a typical session?
Well, my sessions are very intuitive, and they, like, the setup really depends on the client and the issue the client is coming with. So
do you do these in person?
I do them mostly online. Like, more than 90% of my sessions are online. Like we are talking right now would be a normal setup for a session. So I'm at home, my client is at home, and we start with a conversation where the client tells me where they feel stuck, what's going on, what makes them feel upset, or like just talking a bit around the issue. And then I would get already a feeling about what's going on, and I would also feel where there is a strong emotional charge, meaning some unresolved stress in their system. And then I'm working with different modalities, and really depending on the client and their needs, I would then choose which modality works best for them. And this could be either inner child work, this could be a metaphysical healing, which is a combination of emotional healing and energy healing, or it could be pure energy work where I also teach them tools. And this is very, very individual.
So that sounds fantastic. And so this means you can work with anyone, anywhere in the world.
Yes, and I actually do have clients from all over the world. It's crazy. I have clients in Korea, in Mexico, in the US, of course, in Europe. I had a client just last week from Iran, so it's really all over the planet. And this is super interesting.
Yeah, that is really neat. And you can reach out to so many more people.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for you to come here and get exposed to more people here in the United States. But the fact that you're going back to Germany does not mean that people can't contact you and have sessions.
Exactly. Actually, I do have quite a lot of clients from the US as well. So
you mentioned raising one's vibration.
mm-hmm.
When I hear that, I've heard this many times, and you know, I consider myself a spiritual person, but I always want to ask people, like, what exactly is vibrating? What frequency? Is there a way to measure this? What is this?
There are ways to measure it, but I'm not really into this very much. I trust my feeling. Like, all my work is really based on intuition and internal knowing. But what is vibrating is, well, I have to go back here to a more or less scientific way of thinking. Basically, all matter is made up of atoms, and atoms are, if you look down at them, they are mainly empty space. And if you look down at the particles that atoms are made of, the electrons and the neutrons and the protons, they are really, there are physical models which say they are just vibrating energy. You cannot really even observe them. If you try to observe them, they are like flicking in and out of existence. So what you have on a really subatomic level is energy. Everything is made of energy. No matter how tangible it seems for us, it's actually empty space and energy which is vibrating. So everything has a frequency.
I have seen in my own life that you can like raise yourself up, but then if you want to get higher, sometimes you have to go that low again. And it seems like it's a zigzag, and the zigs and zags get bigger and bigger.
They do because we have our like average frequency. And we do a lot of healing and positive focus and gratitude and whatever stuff that raises our frequency. And we have a bunch of topics, unconscious topics, which are like hooks. And we raise our frequency, and then we cannot go further because of these hooks. And this is when we fall down. And when we are down there, we resolve all the shadow. And then our overall frequency, when we resolve the shadow, is higher again, and it's raising, and then we feel the next resistance, and we have to revisit this shadow. And when we did a lot of shadow work, actually falling down feels for many people more intense than before, because the gap between our new average and our shadow aspects becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, because we are so much light already, and we are so happy already, and so woo, that falling down feels much more horrible than it would feel a few years ago, where we were not that much healed yet.
That is such a great thing that you just explained there, because I think as we expand, we tend to think that our goal is to feel perfect and happy all the time, and we're up here, and then suddenly we're down here, and it's like, crap, I failed, I didn't make it. And what you're saying is that's part of the process, because next time you're going to go up even higher.
It's part of the process, but what the nasty thing about this is that the law of attraction also applies to thoughts and memories. So when we are up there, we only remember the good times, and we are only a match to the positive thoughts. But when we are down here, we are a match to the negative thoughts, and we only remember the bad times. And this means when we are down there, we feel like nothing ever improved. We are here forever, and nothing ever worked out, and we really feel like a complete failure. And I don't exclude myself. It happens to me as well when I'm down there, and then I need people to remind me. Because we are really not a match to these kind of thoughts that we are a match to when we're up there. This is the tricky part.
What are you intending to teach in your workshop when you are here? Could you give a brief outline of the kinds of things people can expect to learn from you?
Sure. First of all, I want to go a little more into detail what energy work is, how consciousness and matter are connected, how we can expand our ability to perceive energy. Then we will work on what is usually the foundation of all kind of energy work, grounding. Then we will, I will, for each aspect that I will be teaching, I will offer a variety of methods or tools so that each person can find the one they resonate with the most. So I prepared a bunch of exercises for each subject, and we will all go through them, and everyone can then feel into which works the best for them, because everyone has a different way of perceiving and a way of just playing with things, and it's about really being playful with it. So we will do the grounding, we will work on protection, on shielding, we will work on clearing our energy systems, like our own energy systems. Then we will work on clearing places like our apartments or places, public places, or even entire areas on the planet. And then we will be working on raising our frequency towards a certain subject, which is very closely related with manifesting what we desire. Like, let's say we have a really bad vibration concerning material abundance, and then we would work on this and raise our frequency in this regard. And then I could teach people also tools how to manifest. And the cool thing about those tools is that they won't only increase our frequency regarding the subject, they will also show us where the blockages are. So we will get an idea of what's going on in our system and how to change that. So it's all very empowering, and all the modalities I'm teaching can be applied to different subjects in our lives. So it's really a big toolbox that the attendees will be receiving.
Sounds like it could be really life-changing for someone.
If you really apply these things that you learn, yes, definitely yes.
Yeah. Do you see that in your work sometimes?
Yes.
People are transformed?
Yes. Yeah. It's actually overwhelming for me over and over again when I see how quickly people can shift, how quickly they can see a result in their everyday life after doing either the trauma work or really just the energy work.
Well, anyone who is watching this may be considering attending this workshop. So I would like to give you an opportunity. What is the most important message that you would like to send out to any potential attendees?
That it's gonna be fun and really empowering. And I don't like the idea or the mindset that is out there, which kind of tells people you gotta have a big initiation and you gotta attend a complex training to do this kind of work, because everyone can do it. And this is really what I want to show people. Everyone can do it, and you can apply it yourself. You don't need to be dependent on someone initiating you or doing the work for you. So it will be really about empowering you so that you can take hands on your own stuff. And yeah, I want it to be fun and interactive, and yeah, that's
Great.
the message.
Yeah, I love the idea of becoming one's own energy healer instead of, paying money to just go see someone over and over. Like, you take it into your own hands.
Exactly. And this is actually my motivation for creating this workshop. That when I started learning energy work 15, 16 years ago, I started with initiations and trainings and certifications and so on. So I'm trained in a bunch of modalities. But the tools that I'm actually using in my own work for myself and also in the work with the clients are mainly those tools where you don't need an initiation, where you don't need a complex training, because I realized the most effective tools are those which are the most simple. And this is my message, that it doesn't have to be complex, that it doesn't have to be big woo-woo, whatever. It's simple and effective.
Well, I am so excited that you're coming here. I cannot wait. I know I need this for myself. I'm planning for it to be life-changing for me, absolutely. And I hope everyone who sees this will get a sense of what they can expect. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Right now, not only that, I'm really looking forward to coming and to doing this workshop and to seeing you again. So, yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon, very soon.